So I'm back in Studio 2.0. I put the chair down and I switched it over to back again. But it's just too much mosquitoes here, so I'm gonna take my paper and stuff and I'm gonna go here outside. If you can see, so yeah, it's just too much mosquitoes and shit is less when you're outside. But this is a great view. Okay, so in the last video game series I did my top 10 favorite video games of all time. So now I'm gonna rank my top 10 favorite video game developers of all time. So yeah, this was a hard list. SD, although, so this is I'm not gonna talk about every game and every most important game of this video game developers. I'm just gonna talk about why this video game developers mean so much to me personally. So, and which games. And remember, this is a personal list, as I always say. Some of these are obvious choices of video game developers and everything, but all in all, this is a personal list. Okay, so I'm not gonna talk about in some of the, well, it's gonna be all in their most known games, but some games are gonna jump over because I haven't played them or I not interested in them or whatever. So this is a very personal list. Okay, so this is the ranking of my top 10 favorite video game developers of all time. 10. IT Territory. Mobile, Android, iOS game developers. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite mobile game developers of all time. Like my favorite game of them are Hawk Freedom Squadron 2017 and onwards, as all mobile games continue forever until they get laid down. A shmup game, greatest shmup game I have ever played on Android. And another one is really great, Space Justice 2019 and onwards. Android, iOS, great. 9, Insomniac games. My favorite of Insomniac games is the Ratchet and Clank games. Starting on PS2. I played others, but the first one is still my favorite. So Ratchet and Clank 2002 for PS2, PlayStation 2, and other games, the Spyro, the Dragon series. I have really only played the first game and a demo of the third, but it's great. And other games also I play, so I'm not gonna delve in too much info because the video will be too long. 8, Team 17, the Worms games. Okay, that's just it. They have done a few other amazing games, but the Worms series, that's it. Worms 1, Worms 2, Worms Armageddon, Worms World Party. Let's move on. 7, Midway. Yeah, this is a classic video game developers who has done a lot of earlier great games. But why this is my favorite is because of the Mortal Kombat games. So Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Let's leave it at that. So 6, Nintendo EAD. Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Donkey Kong. Super Mario and Zelda. So the Super Mario Brothers games, my favorites, I wrote down Super Mario Brothers 3 1988 NES, Super Mario World 1990 SNES, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island 1995 SNES, and other Mario games. The Legend of Zelda series. The Legend of Zelda 1986, The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past 1991 SNES. My two favorite Zelda games personally, so, and many other games. So 5 Konami. You know about the Konami code: up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A, start. The most known code in video game history. Okay, so it's much to go through with Konami here. The Contra games. Contra 1988 NES. I never played their original arcade version released in 1987, but the NES port is the most famous. Contra 3, The Alien Wars 1992 SNES. Then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, the beat 'em up games. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, 1990 NES. Arcade game earlier, which was called only Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, 1992 SNES. Released in arcade as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, 1991. The Castlevania series, holy shit. My favorite Castlevania game is Symphony of the Night, 1997, PS1. But my favorite Konami game is X-Ray 1992 SNES. My favorite shmup game, shoot 'em up game of all time, Stormy. Okay, so for Rare. What I'm gonna say about Rare, I have to have a smoke. Okay, so Rare. So Rare. The Donkey Kong Country series and all the other Donkey Kong Country games they have made, like Donkey Kong 64 and Diddy Kong Racing, and yeah, absolutely amazing. But my favorite isn't Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy Kong's Quest, which is known as the best. My favorite is the original Donkey Kong Country on the SNES. My favorite, not gonna go into details because the video will be too long of everything. So 3 Capcom. The Street Fighter games and series, the Street Fighter 2 series. I never played the Street Fighter 2 Turbo or Hyper Fighting. I had a compilation on, I think it was PS2 and whatever. But Street Fighter 2, The World Warrior, was released in arcades in 1991, in 1992 on the SNES. The SNES port is known as the most famous one, I think, and it's absolutely amazing. But I'm gonna say I prefer the Street Fighter Alpha series over that. It's a prequel to the Street Fighter 2 series. So Street Fighter Alpha 2 1996 on PS1. is my favorite fighting game of all time. I never played the earlier arcade version, which was released in 1996, but the PS port is absolutely amazing. I prefer this over Street Fighter 2 and everything. So the Mega Man series, okay. The NES 6 Mega Man games on the NES. The Mega Man X series onwards from the SNES and PS1 and 2, but Mega Man X 1993 SNES is my favorite Mega Man game. And Capcom has done a lot of Disney games, like the most famous one are DuckTales 1989, NES, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers 1990, NES extraordinary games there, to Neversoft. I have played a lot of Neversoft games, like yeah, a lot, but I gonna say that my favorite are the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series, which is really the first skateboarding series that set the standard of all other skateboarding games, extreme sports skateboarding games of all time. So my favorite are the first one, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1991 PS1, even though it didn't have the manual as all other Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 2000 PS1, known as the best Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 2002 PS2 was a little different, but I prefer this over Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. So, and now we got into my favorite video game developers of all time, Naughty Dog. Start with they had made a lot of video games before, but my favorite, the Crash Bandicoot series. My favorites are Crash Bandicoot 1996 PS1, Crash Bandicoot Warped, the third Crash Bandicoot game 1998 PS1, Crash Team Racing, the fourth Crash Bandicoot game 1999 PS1, their last game, Crash Bandicoot game, their last Crash Bandicoot game. Others took over after. Then on PS2 they started the Jak and Dexter series. I played a demo of Jak 3, never played Jak 2, but Jak and Dexter, the Precursor Legacy 2001 PS2, then the Uncharted series. God. Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception 2011, I have played all of them, but I haven't played Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, but my favorite of the PS3 Uncharted games is I played 1 and 2, and Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception 2011 PS3, my favorite video game of all time. So yeah, see you next time, bye.